This is the second part of Chapter 2 videotape. This is a really good depiction of what the memory actually takes place in the memory with it. So it's actually, if you look at the variable, what is actually taking place? This isn't like a memory address. When you actually allocate a variable in a memory, this is called as length, width, area, and perimeter. And these variables that you are allocating the square color, these purple colors, it's like an address and for length. And actually, it's, there's another slide I want to talk to you about, but it's a location in the RAM memory. Remember now, the purpose that we're programming is to memory management. And length, width, and area, this is allocated to a certain data type. In this case, it's allocated to a double data type that you actually can put a certain data type inside of this thing. So let me come over to slide number 10. Number 10. Key things about few things about functions. What are subfunctions? Breaking down a particular task to a smaller task with it. You're going to hear this function is something that's a set of rules, and it breaks down this set of criteria to smaller tasks with it as well. You can hear things such as predefined. You can hear things as what's called class as well with it. Syntax rules specified with statement. They're instructions with it. Semicolon, things that are how you break down the task with it. All the indentation, white space. That's the syntax rule with it. The semantic rules determine the meaning of the instructions with it. The semantic rules is what's the order of your program. It's kind of like you prompt the user, you initialize and you declare the actual data type, and then you do some sort of mathematical calculation. So there is a rule there. You have to allocate the memory first, and then you actually put memory storage in there. And then you output to the screen. It's a set of instruction. It's the logic of the program with it. And the last bullet is the programming language. There's a set of rules, symbols, and special words. Every programming language has a set of rules. Every program has a set of symbols, and every program has a set of special words. C++ has reserved words. I'm going to show you the slide when we come to it. You know about how to comment it out, okay? But two ways to comment besides documentations. Other way is how to debug. So that's two things I want you to know about that. The next set of slide talks to you about this special symbols that you can actually use. Know this, okay? You can't call. It's naming the identifiers with this thing. It's very important that you know what identifiers are. Identifiers are things that, again, constants, functions, and variables with it. You can't call the identifier starting with any special characters with this. Use alpha, use numbers, and underscore, okay, for C++. We'll talk more how to naming that with it. This right here is reserved words. The reason is you don't want to actually use your identifiers, these reserved words, as part of your identifiers as your reserved words with it. Okay, so the reason you have to know your identifiers, you can't call using your reserved words with it. Very important. Identifiers, here I go. Okay, know this. What I will ask you in the exam is which one of the following is a bad identifier, which one of the following is a good identifier. So know that you have to write your identifiers based off of your consistent of letters, digits, and underscore. Alright? Letters, digits, and underscore. It must begin with a letter or an underscore. It is case sensitive. Alright? There's what's called two predefined identifiers, is the cout and cin. Remember that? So in order for you to use cout, cin, you have to use the using namespace with it. Alright, so be vigilant on how you name your identifiers with it. Take a look at this. This is the illegal identifiers. What's wrong with this one right here? There's a space in between employee and the word salary. There's a special character right here, of an exclamation mark. There's a special character in between the 1 and the 2. And you can't start with identifiers number 2. Okay? You can't start with a number. So practice naming those rules in there, because on the exam I will give you a set of which one of the following is not, for example, a good identifiers with it. White space. You need white space so you can be able to read. Indent in, from the left to the right, alignment, all that stuff with it as well. So that's the purpose of white space in programming. Data types. I'm going to stop right here. I'm going to save this for a moment.